Hi ladies and gentlemen of the internet, it's Aki. So, welcome to Retha Talks, right? And this is a segment I'm gonna start on my channel that it's more sit down videos, more one-on-one, way better. I got a lot of personal reach outs from my last video. Personal, let's give, like, it was in my WhatsApp, not in my DMs, where people ask, oh hey, break down about mental illnesses, about how you cope, all of that. And I was like, you know what, I would love to do that, but me being me, I am not gonna talk about it like yeah, and it's gonna be formal, it's gonna be more intimate. Come closer. I have my cup of cocoa and my makeup kit. Let's look in anglers. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is basically, like, I'm going to divide this video into segments. One is going to be the definition, my definition, and Google's definition, the coping mechanisms, and lastly my words of wisdom from my experience and just life in general, right? So we're going to start with primer. On the makeup side, let's start with the primer before we get into the definitions. Oh, by the way, the primer I use is not from Clicks. I use from my friend. It's the Black Opal Makeup Primer, Invisible Pores and Even Tone Skin. It's actually finished. I bought these last year when I was going to my matric dance, and my makeup artist didn't really have makeup products for my skin type, which is acne prone skin and hyperpigmentation, so I needed to buy stuff. But this primer was not really part of the stuff. It was just something I bought with extra money, because at the time I realized how important learning makeup is. It's actually a skill, you know. You don't want to be like those people, makeup. So yeah, we start with primer. And I watch December prelims, holidays. I watch a lot of content based on DIY beauty, like wig installs, how to perfect your makeup. You know, sometimes people say, hey, you need to, no, anything and everything can be taught. Those professionals you see, like the best professionals are self-taught. Albert Einstein was a self-taught whatever. I don't think he went to university, but he learned, I think, at home first. Right, so the next thing I use is the Inuka Fiber Volumizer. By the way, none of this is sponsored. As y'all can see by the number of subscribers I have, this is definitely not sponsored. I use the, you see, focusing, the Inuka Fiber Volumizing Mascara. I do not know. This is in the color VMC 10. It's black basically, and I do not know how much it is. I'd be lying to y'all if I told you how much it is. So the reason I use mascara instead of like a edge brush and tint is because for me, I like black eyebrows, as y'all can see here, but this is way too much, so we're just gonna, it's a whole process for me to do my eyebrows, by the way. I don't really use the product. I just dab it. I actually forgot. I dab it here. I'm using my shade. This is the shade I don't really care for, but please use a towel you also don't care for. I just use it to tint or darken my eyebrows. So let's get into the definitions, right? The definition of depression to me, I have three mental health disorders, by the way. I have depression, SAD, which is severe adjustment disorder, and anxiety disorder. I got formally diagnosed with all these diseases last year, Feb. But with the depression, I got grade 9. I think I was 14 by the time when I got diagnosed. Guys, I know I look a little crazy, and I'm very sorry if I look crazy, but trust the process. Say it with me, makeup is a process. Let me actually moisturize my lips. The lip balm I use is the Nature's Nourishment lip gloss, jojoba. I love jojoba, the vanilla bean and the coconut one. those for me smell good. This was my first one, hence you see me using the jojoba. The jojoba is just when I use for moisturizing, when I don't really care for it to smell good. But when I'm feeling like, I buy either one. And next thing we're going to do is concealer. Okay, so my concealer, my base products, my concealer, my foundation, I buy those from Clicks. Essence is the girly that she thinks she is. Use that as well. Can I tell y'all something? By the way, guys, I plan my content. You will not see, but I plan my content for you guys. So lock in and subscribe. Guys, I want to be Mshalin Damasi one day. I want to be Babiki, but I'm Achi. Those are my role models, but I'm Achi at the end of the day. Wait, I am shorting a toothbrush that I actually use to brush up. I'm coming. I'm back, and this is what I use. I should have brushed them before, but I brushed them early in the day, so I didn't really think it would need. Depression to me is the inability to be able to live life but have no desire to live. You're living, you're working, you're going to school, you're doing whatever, but you have no desire absolutely to live. Like, it's not your suicide or anything, but you wake up and you don't want to get out of bed. Like, you really don't want to get out of bed. You don't feel. It's not even about lack of purpose and whatever, but for me, that's how I can explain it. You guys will see throughout this video, I explain way better in metaphors. Shout out to my English teacher for that. But yeah, it's waking up in the morning and being unable to get out of bed, not because you're paralyzed, physically paralyzed or anything, but just because you have the inability to grow up, like to wake up. Severe adjustment disorder for me, let's find the Google version of depression. Right? One thing at a time. So, ChatGPT, not Google, says if you're a tech student, you understand, or you're a student or anybody in general, depression is a common and serious mental health disorder that naturally affects how you feel, think, and act. It causes feelings of sadness and or loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. Hence, I said your desire to wake up and do anything. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems and can decrease your ability to function at work and at home. The symptoms are feeling sad, having a depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure in activities once enjoyed, changes in appetite, weight loss or gain unrelated to dieting. So personally, I lost a lot of weight last year. Trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, loss of energy, increased fatigue. And I'll show them here on the screen or here. I feel like here is way better. Yeah, there is way better. And that is what it is. Severe adjustment disorder is the inability for me, as in the name, severe adjustment, to adjust. So these are not small changes like the change in like maybe my hot cocoa formula doesn't taste the same or anything. No. It's where, for example, I'll make an example with where I was. On the beginning of the year, I told myself I'm going to live at race, or I'm going to have an apartment, I'm going to shoot content, I'm going to have a tripod, I'm going to have a set hustle. And okay, cool. But so many things happened in life that I was unable to do that. So many things happened, and where I am right now is I'm still living at home. I am going to school. I have a YouTube channel, but not in the way I would have expected to. My channel is not the most aesthetically pleasing channel you ever come across, but it's real, and that is something I wanted to do. And when I started my YouTube channel, when I wanted to start my YouTube channel in the beginning of the year, I had no vision. I was just going to post. And I felt like when I was at home, I was able to think and process and be like, yeah, this is actually what I want. I've experienced life to this point that this is what I want to share and this is what I want to show. Let us Google what is adjustment disorders, AD, but mine was severe. Like I think mine was severe. In sadness, anxiety, worry, those are the symptoms. And then behavioral symptoms are like changes in sleep patterns. I could not sleep. My matric, I could not sleep. And then the definition is also known as stress response syndrome, is a mental health disorder that occurs when people have difficulty coping with a stressful event or change. The symptoms of adjustment disorder is typically more severe than expected and can interfere significantly with social, occupational, and other important function. With anxiety, let's move on to anxiety because I've been just not doing those, but like let's move on to anxiety, right? So with anxiety, I feel, let me just get a bit closer and move you guys a little more. Like, I didn't want you guys to show, but at this point, it is what it is. With anxiety, when I think of anxiety, and if someone were to ask me to explain anxiety, it's like thinking so much or overthinking so much to an extent where it alters my reality by either exaggerating it or blowing it totally out of proportion. And please don't let anxiety and nervousness, don't confuse anxiety and nervousness. Those are two very, very different things. Nervousness can be a good and a bad thing, but it's not chronic. It won't lead to you. For example, with anxiety, I find it very hard to be in social groups, like where people like I'll make an example. Earlier this week, it was my niece's first birthday, and I was socializing with a few friends of my other cousin, and while we were there, they were not talking to me. I was overthinking, I was having anxiety, and I just wanted to leave. Point blank period. Like, and it was like, because of that interaction, I overthink. I thought I was, there was a lot of things that were going through my mind. It was altering my reaction. I thought those people were very mean people, and we were in Midrand. So if you're in Midrand, you know what that Midrand atmosphere is like. And I started overthinking. I was like, did I experience what people talk about in terms of people who live in Midrand? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So that is what anxiety is to me, and we'll check out what it is to Google. I have had multiple panic attacks in the past and in the present. I am unfortunately not comfortable, sharing about what's happening in the present because I'm still dealing with it. But then in the past, it had a lot to do with, for example, my grades. I remember in grade 7, I was so nervous whether I was going to pass, if I was going to go to the next grade. I started thinking I was stupid. I wasn't getting the marks I wanted as well. So I started feeling like I was stupid. I was vomiting. I remember my mom also telling me, like, Ratabile, you're doing great. I feel like you're overthinking the situation. And she was right. My mom was never wrong, but she was right about that situation. And luckily, as we know, I made it. I'm here in university. And yeah, I think I've had multiple panic attacks, but mine aren't like where we see in movies. Mine are like vomiting. Mine are like feeling dizzy and just losing control of my body in a sense where I can't breathe. Yeah, those happen, but it's more like my heartbeat elevates. So let's check what ChatGPT's definition of anxiety is. People will associate anxiety with also like an extreme form of nervousness. That's why I said it is not nervousness. Anxiety is a normal response to stress and can be beneficial in some situations. Hence, I call it nervousness if it is beneficial. So I have generalized anxiety disorder. That's what I have. It's characterized by a chronic anxiety, exaggerated worry, tension, even when it's something as little and there was nothing to provoke it. Literally, the interaction I had in Midrand with my cousin, like her friends were just they didn't know me enough for them to socialize, and they were coming to that, and I realized I didn't overreact. It's normal for me, but yeah. Mine is increased heartbeat, rapid breathing, hyperventilation. I don't experience that, but I do experience trembling, having terrible sleep, and having difficulty controlling worry. Having difficulty controlling worry, okay, that I don't have, but having the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety, that is me. I will not be in situations where I feel like, oh, more I'm going to be sad or I'm going to be mad or anyway. Like, I will leave. One thing about me, I will leave those situations because I'm not about to do that to myself. I'm not about to panic. Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm showing you guys concealer. I'm doing my concealer, but I'm not showing. This is the guys, one mistake. This whole set is over. Multitask concealer. It's by Essence Multitask Concealer, Erase Cover, and K. And this girl did wonders on my matric dance photos and makeup. It concealed these dark marks. As y'all can see, I have acne prone skin. It did the yeah, this is the girl that she thinks she is. I do not have makeup brushes. Disclaimer. Let me just tell you guys while we're still at it. I do not have makeup brushes, but I do use this brush that my mom has never used in her life. I think she once got it as a package from Avon, but it was for the lips. It was where you use, I don't know what was going on back in those days with the chains, but this is the brush that I use. And then I just like press it out like this so it can be flat, and then I use it to carve out my top eyebrow. Yeah, I think those are my definitions. So with that, I think we can move to the next chapter. Guys, lately, I'm gonna show you pictures. I have very thick eyebrows, but lately I've been making very thin, very same shape, but just thin eyebrows, and I don't understand where this style is so we already eyebrows are thin. Mara, it's fine. It's just, we're just playing around and having fun. You'll see this one will be bigger than this one, and it will cause up a problem. But yeah, another thing we can go to is, let's check my experience. Oh, an experience that I've healed from, right? Because I had a discussion with my aunt, and she's like, if you're going to do that sit down video, please talk about experiences you've healed from, because people on the internet, you don't know them. As much as, yes, you might think they're being supportive, hey, people change on people on the internet and they have no clue. So talk about an experience you've actually healed from. And I think that was great advice. So yeah. And I think one thing I'm so in awe about is the fact that my family watches my YouTube channel. Like my aunts, when I was at the birthday party, they're like, oh my gosh, we watch the channel, which YouTuber, Achis Angle. And I was just so, I just went in, I'm finished. I went in with the concealer to conceal the marks. And I was about to talk about my experience, right? A real life experience is I got bullied a lot in primary school. High school, I wasn't really bullied. I could stand up for myself. And in high school, people don't really care. They're just living their lives and doing their own thing, experimenting. So I got bullied a lot, mainly because of the way I looked. So I was very skinny and dark skinned. I don't think I was dark skinned back then, but now I'm not really that dark skinned. But yeah, I was dark skinned, and if you knew back then, like a few years ago, the standard was light skinned. Not the standard, but the beauty standard was light skin, voluptuous, being skinny, dark skinned, and being smart as well and outspoken didn't really match. Where a lot of the people because they were very mean. I think the meanest thing someone ever told me is that the way you're so skinny, like, how does a kid say that to another kid? Like, someone's like is gonna be like, oh yeah, traumatic experiences, but guys, traumatic experiences to that extent, how? But we all had traumatic experiences. But yeah, my hot cocoa turned cold, guys, and I have to drink it. But yeah, those were that was a very bad experience for me in terms of way for most of my life I didn't think like people like those kids were like officially, you know, beautiful. And I think the only thing I knew that was beautiful about me was my hair, because I had like gorgeous, I still have gorgeous hair. But yeah, that is one thing I thought that was only going for me. In other aspects, I always felt like I wasn't beautiful. When I got to high school and I met people who thought I was beautiful and who told me that I was beautiful, I was like, you know, it's crazy. For the longest of time, I never felt like I was beautiful. And I thought I should, because I'm not beautiful, I should make up for it in studying. I use a lot of academic validation. It led me to constantly having panic attacks and constantly having to try to prove myself, because I felt like I wasn't beautiful, so I had to be perfect in some sense, you know. I learned this trick from one of the Kardashians, a makeup artist, Ashley K. Home. She said use your fingers, and then if you want to blend out properly, then use a blender. But use that, and also use a damp, not a dry, sorry, a damp, use a damp sponge. This is the sponge I use. It's from Inuka. The sponge is from Inuka, and then the rest of these are just from Guling. As y'all can see, this is actually very soft compared to these other ones. I think that the bullying altered my perception, my self-image, and how I thought I was beautiful. I never thought I was beautiful for a very long time. I've only learned now that, like, damn, look at me, without makeup, with acne prone skin, without acne. Yeah, baba, kipila mau. Chipia Pitori, a beautiful girl. So really Santa Tomo, ke mamo agi wa ga le thabela pala hae. So really Santa Tomo holo, soft engineer papa, lawyer ya mama. And yeah, man, I learned to love my skin as well in that process, you know. But yeah, going back to my bullying, the worst encounter I've ever had as well is I had a friend in primary. Let's call her a best friend. Sorry, let's call her Emily, right? Emily, I'd stand up for her, and I'll always get into fights standing up for either Emily or just defending myself in some sorts. And because I got in so many fights at school, they called me a bullfighter, and they would just forgive me because I was smart, you know. And at home, I think as well, they didn't believe me because I was very like, I was here. So it didn't make sense, and I don't blame them at home because yeah, I don't like these. I don't like these. Let me just try and carve out the bottom brow. I don't make eyebrows like this. I'm so sorry. I can't do makeup on camera, by the way. I cannot do makeup on camera. So the next thing we're going to do is go in with eyeshadow, because I think that's the one I should actually be focusing on. But yeah, the next thing we're going on is eyeshadow, and I'm going to show you the palette. But yeah, bullying for me was very big. Like it was so traumatic to me, because for most of my life I didn't feel worthy of friendship, and not even friendship, but like genuine friendship, you know. And I'm so lucky that I had a best friend throughout high school who healed that part of me. Shout out to Liaho. I love you, Scado, wherever he is. And yeah, So I was bullied a lot in terms of I was smart. So I remember there was an instance where, teachers will ask a question and one of the class clowns or my bullies raised their hand and they got the question wrong. And then teachers were like, yeah, you should focus more on books and making jokes. And they told me like, yeah, Lididi is my surname. They like answer the question and I answered very well and in a very fluent accent, right? And I was talking very well, not like I am right now because there's no need for me to speak like that. But yeah, and I went to like a Model C school in a Gussie town, so it wasn't really wow that people spoke fluently, but it had a lot to do with also proving myself. And my dad is an English teacher, so my English needed to be on point. This is the eyeshadow palette I'm going to use, the Inuka eyeshadow palette. I don't know which one. It's the Inuka 9 Shades eyeshadow palette. I think I stole this from my mom or she bought a night, but this is the one that I use. It looks like this when you open it. Way better. I finished most of the colors. I'm going to use this color. It's a black shimmering, and then this is a gold, and then this is a shimmering rose gold. These other colors I've never really used. Am I going to use them one day? Yeah, but I'm going to invest in buying an eyeshadow palette for me. So the first thing I start with is the I start with the inner corner of this eye. But before I start with it, I need to like put on a bit of concealer so the base is more better. And then, yeah, I start with the inner corner of my eye and I just do it half like I would be doing a cut crease. This is not a makeup tutorial. It's not a makeup tutorial. Don't come for me. So go in with my concealer as a base, as an eyeshadow base, right? You can buy eyeshadow primer base and all those things, but I'm a student on a budget, and yeah, I will do with whatever makeup hacks, what beauty talk TikTok has for me, what YouTube has for me, and yeah. I don't follow a specific content creator when it comes to makeup. I just follow tips and hacks. I always focus when it comes to makeup techniques, international content creators from the UK, from whatever. When it comes to products, I look at South African influencers, but not the prominent one. So not the prominent ones like Mhlelen Damas. With Mhlelen Damas, I just look at the techniques she uses for her makeup as opposed to the products, because I cannot afford her products. I wish I could, but I can't. Just gonna go in one last time. I think it's covered fully, but yeah, with bullying, that was what happened. I would get into a fight with boys, not with girls, with boys. And the girls were the instigators. They were like, yeah, Tabila said this about you and whatever. Because me, I would call out bullies. One thing about me, I will not keep my mouth shut. I will say it like it is. And I think one vivid and clear memory I have is in the transport. There's this boy called Tato. He was always bullying me. He would call me names. As you guys have seen in like my past videos, my dad is a very tall, dark-skinned man. And as I said, dark-skinned melanin was not the beauty standard. And this boy heard that one of my classmates he's like, your dad is so dark, he looks like a nyobe addict. And that hurt me. Like, nobody should speak about anything like that about a parent, even if it's true. But with my dad, it wasn't true, because my dad is a very successful businessman. He's also a deputy, okay, too much info, but my dad is a very successful man. And though for them to call my dad that, it was heartbreaking. Like, please guys, whatever you do, don't talk about people's parents like that. Those are the people who brought them into this world, so you have no idea what you're doing. I'm not gonna look at this. I'm gonna look at this mirror, but I'm gonna also look at this mirror. Let me actually wipe this mirror a little bit with my shit. And yeah, so that hurt me a lot. And that guy luckily got dealt with the principal and my teacher at the time, my class teacher at the time. But that guy heard about what that other guy said, and they started calling me that, like, yeah, and then I got in a fight with that guy. Got in a fight and he whooped me. He beat me, obviously, because he was a boy and was way more powerful than me. And that's why I think a lot of people, if you know me personally, you understand how much I hate when I'm called feisty or stubborn or whatever. It's because I'm standing up for what I believe is right. You can come to me and talk to me, but then, like, don't do that. But yeah, and I was very hurt by that. I got beaten, but I was trying. And there's this other girl called Bridget. I'm not even gonna not try to mention these people's names because they were bullies. That's what they are. Even if they've grown and evolved, and that's not like, I don't care. You were the bad villain in my story. So yeah, this girl called Bridget would always say bad names, and she would tell the guys. And I wasn't the typical girl not to like fight back. I'd fight back. I'm gonna fight back. I'm gonna fight you. Even if I lose, I'm gonna fight you. I'm not gonna stand down. We'll always tap down your brush when doing the eyeshadow. So yeah, I would always get into fights, and people had this thing about me that I was always fighting, but no, I was getting bullied, guys. I was getting bullied, and it was hard. It was very traumatic. I never felt like I was believed. My teachers would always come to me and be like, yeah, we're only forgiving you because you're passing. I think one traumatic thing another teachers also told me is like, yeah, we'll and Renault forgive a girl pass. And I'm like, if only you knew. And those were the very same people I tried to reach out to them. But that was just one teacher, by the way. It was not a lot of teachers. It was just one teacher who always did that. But the principal and higher ups, yeah, they will always believe me. But sometimes it doesn't help. It doesn't help, and that's the sad reality of the world we live in. I support, when bullying campaigns are talking and I believe bullying campaigns need to do better. But it's not even, I don't think bullying campaigns are the problem. Oh, by the way, I'm doing this wrong. I'm not doing this wrong, but for you guys, don't do it like I'm doing it. Just do a V shape, and I'll show you on this other eye. Let me just finish this eye, and as you can see, it's not really quite blended well. But yeah, going back to that, like bullying campaigns, those are gonna help to a certain extent when educating and whatever, but after that nothing's gonna happen. You don't have kids if you're not ready to be a parent. If you're being a parent, be a parent. Don't be those parents that defend those kids and be like, yeah, my child will never do that. Your child is a monster. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, by the way, do an inner corner V like this, and then you just shade it in so that you get the perfect thingy more bobby. And then you can just color in like we did. This camera keeps on giving up on me. I filmed this yesterday, only to realize half of my face was dirty. So yeah, going in with the third and final color, and I just put it on top because when I do the three-way method it doesn't work, so I put it on top. Makeup is a process, guys, and always be gentle with yourself when learning makeup. Don't be too hard on yourself. Makeup is a process. The first time you do your makeup, the first time you do your install, the first time you're doing your nails, anything for the first time is gonna suck. Whether you're cooking, whether you're washing dishes, expect to make a mess and be gentle with yourself. Push yourself to do better, and practice makes perfect. One thing I've learned, and I've been lucky that I had people around me who were really good with makeup, and anytime I was creating a makeup look, they would always tell me, oh, fix this part, get this product for this, and they were very helpful in that aspect. And shout out to them for being such amazing troopers. Now I need another brush so I can blend in the eyeshadow. Okay, there's another brush. I remember I think I was 10-11 when my mom bought this brush, guys. I was 10-11, like she bought this at Clicks. Like you can see, it's been alive for a while. Segment number 3 is my coping mechanism, and my first coping mechanism is journaling. So I journal. be it good, bad, anything I record, I write down. But my most frequent, but the most like my common practice, like my everyday, my to keep it consistent and to keep sure my mental health is intact, I journal every Sunday and I write about my week, what irritated me, what triggered me, what made me happy. What made me happy, what made me sad, what kind of conflicted me. Into actually, I don't know where I ended off. I'm too lazy and too like there's a lot going on. I need to still go back and study, guys. But yeah, that's what I've ruined. Great. But then I'll be able, let me just do this. Let me just perfect it. Let me just perfect it on this side. I'll perfect it with as you can see here, it's way better. I'll just perfect it with concealer and make it straight. That's the next step anyway. And I'm just gonna also cover it up the side. Journaling helps, and the first thing I say in my journaling prompts is dear journal, the date, and literally whatever I'm feeling. I read through whatever I'm feeling and I turn all those emotions into a song. So that is something I learned from my psychologist, and she said that helps a lot in terms of you're able to turn whatever your experiences, your traumas, beautiful, ugly, confusing, into something very beautiful, and you can without having any shame in it. And that is something I was like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Oh my god, that's so amazing. But yeah, that is, journaling has helped me through the toughest times. I feel like journaling has helped me through the toughest times of my life, where as someone who talks a lot, it's so hard to talk to other people about things that are bothering you. And when you have that, it's so much better. You know, you can talk about anything and no one will use it against you, or you feel like you're doing too much, you know. So yeah, next thing I'm going to do is come in with concealer, and I use this method. Let me show you. One inner corner of eye, outer corner of eye, outer corner of eye, and then inner corner eye again. Make it a triangle if you want, and then outer corner, and then we're gonna shape it in the person, you know. This does not have to be perfect because I'm going to sleep either way, but I'm doing this for you guys. Don't ever say I've never done anything for you guys. And then here, 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 you smile, and then your nose. I saw this other girl on TikTok say, don't, as a big nose girly, don't contour your nose, and I agree, but it just brings the makeup look way together. Like that. And yeah, that is it so far. I go in with this girl. I dab. But yeah, another coping mechanism for me is resets. Research in a sense where it, like, if you watch my last vlog, I changed my environment and I went to visit my dad's, because it became that my room was such a place where I was studying for so long that I was like, I was becoming unhappy. Like I was like, I can't live like this. You know, when you're cooped up in your room for so many hours late at night studying, it becomes mentally strenuous. Hence, we have recess. You'll see people going back home or going on vacation or just having a reset after every mental strenuous thing, and that is, sometimes it doesn't look like me changing my environment. Sometimes it just looks like me taking a day out, either a walk or visiting a friend, anything that I can do to make sure I keep my sanity in some way or form. It's very important that you keep your sanity. I am not about to risk my mental health for anything and anyone. Yeah, that is what I do. Another thing is, let me check. Another thing is also healing and reliving my inner child. What I did a lot in matric is I went to the park. I would go by the swing. I'd have mini picnics. Now I bought a coloring book. I don't know where it is, but I bought a coloring book and I would color in. I would buy whatever to relive my childhood. As much as my childhood had traumatic parts, it was also very beautiful, and I intend on reliving those beautiful parts. You know, I intend on living those beautiful parts as well, you know, not completely giving up on them. You know, not everything is going to be perfect in this life, and we need to understand it. But reliving that, and that is also puzzles. I actually found a puzzle that I used to always build when I was at my dad's, and this is what I use for my contour. But you guys, I'm mixing it with this big eyebrow pencil you guys will see here. I'm mixing it with that. Here's the eyebrow pencil here, and then I'm gonna just put a little bit of this. As you can see, these are not the same color. I'm gonna mix it a little bit, and I'm gonna contour my nose, or bronze, or whatever. I don't know what this is called, but I'm going to do that. And it's not doing the way I want it to do, but that is what I will do. Another thing is meditation. I used to sleep on meditation and be like, these people are fancy, this is too white for me. Hey, those breathing methods in the morning and just allowing myself to be present in that moment helps so much. It helps a lot. I just contour my nose. I don't like contouring these other parts because they don't. You see, it just works on my nose. It doesn't work on other parts. So I just contour my nose like this. And that is what I do. And then I blend it out with a sponge like this. But I do it in a horizontal manner like this. I squeeze it like this. And yeah, what was I talking about? I forgot. But those are my coping mechanisms. I do those in order to help me just remain sane, not being present fully. You know, just escaping my reality for a minute. And it helped me a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it has helped me a lot, overcome a lot also. And yeah, you know, the next thing we are going to do, I don't know, what is the next thing I'm supposed to do actually? Eyelashes. The first video I did on eyelashes, and then I lost my eyelashes. I don't know where my other eyelashes are. I bought 3 eyelashes. These are where these are from. I bought these for 15 rand at my friend. But the last one, I just put them on in. Wait. Okay, so the side. I just put them on. You see, it wasn't too hard to put them on. Guys, if the eyelashes don't cooperate, we're going to leave them out. It's not like, even when I used to do my eyelash, I'm gonna just you can see Ayan Nabil. Oh, but yeah, those are my coping mechanisms. For the longest of time, I was unable to talk about my mental health, but mainly when I got diagnosed last year, I was an RCL at my school, and I felt like, and for those who don't know what an RCL is, it's a prefect, a leader at school, and I was afraid that people were going to disrespect me if they knew what was going on. They were not going to listen. They were going to be like, yeah, what do you know? Well, you're crazy. What if you're overreacting? You know, a lot of teenagers are very ignorant to what mental health is. We're leaving this out. I'm going to do this another day. And I'm very sorry, guys. I was able to do this at some point. I don't know where those eyelashes have left. I hope I find them around. And yes, I do use eyelashes, but those are my coping mechanisms, as well as sleeping. If I have a problem, I will sleep. I know it's one of the symptoms, but life is too short for me to be stressed out about what's, other things. I'll sleep and I'll journal and go to sleep and pray about it. If I can't control it, I really actually just jam my lips. If I can't control it, I can't control it. It is what it is. I'm using the back part. The same eyebrow pencil, same method, just instead of with the foundation, I'm just using the eyebrow pencil on its own. I'm supposed to bake after this, and I'll bake. I overline my lips a little bit, and then I go in here and hide the hat, because my top lip is dark and then my bottom lip is pink. So yeah, this is an eyeshadow palette I bought for like 35 rand at my friend, and then I've tried using it. But not. Now I'm gonna use it as like just for my lips. I'm gonna use, I think, this one here. Look how beautiful that is. Just look at how beautiful that is, and it just blends in all with the, I don't like how it's blending, but let me just actually use my finger. But yeah, look at that. Just look at how beautiful that is. And I'm gonna blend, and I'm gonna keep on doing this until this stays. Look how beautiful that is. Yeah, sorry. Look at how beautiful that is. You don't need for me to buy an expensive lipstick for MAC. That is the before I put on my lip gloss, let me bake. And baking, I'm gonna use this LA. Let me actually use the LA Girl Pro Powder High Definition Setting Powder. Is it baking or setting? I don't know. And then I cut this. Where's my dustbin? Actually, I'm not about to make a mess of my room. I cut this into a square. This was a circle, and it still doesn't do the way I wanted it to. I'll go like this. I watch me a lot, and she likes a light under eye, and I love how her under eye look, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna copy you, girl, and I'm gonna use your technique. She was using a very expensive setting powder. I don't know if it's a setting powder or a translucent powder, you don't know these days, but this as well, go in with this big brush. Oh, I tried to actually start, I'm going to use this deformed one, and go in with a sponge first. Guys, your eyes creasing at the bottom is normal, né? Don't let influencers or whoever lie to you. I think I've dealt with my coping mechanisms. My words of wisdom to anyone dealing with mental health, or just in general with mental health disorders, is your trauma is not your trophy. Don't bring it into relationships. Don't hurt people, and it is unfair to that person for you to expect that other person to heal you. Deal with it on your own. Get help. There are social workers, there are organizations. There's this therapy online I see called BetterHelp, and apparently it's better, you know, if you're not like really a person who can't really talk in person, they do it. I'll try and link them down below as well. This is so far how my makeup looks, and it's quite dry, I'm not gonna lie. When you're doing it right, it's dry, but yeah, they are really good at what they do. So it seems, I don't know, I've never done it. I did the traditional therapy way and I got helped. I just go to your GP and try and ask for a thing. If they don't help you, go to BetterHelp. It's very good. They are online organizations which will help you, you know, with all of those things. This is blush. This is the Inuka mineral blush. It's not blush, it's highlighter. I use their lipsticks as blush, and then this I use as highlighter. You know, it's very, like, for this amount of material and how much highlighter costs these days. Yeah, if you want to use liquid highlighter, it's good. I don't know any recommendations for it, but liquid baby tongue liquid thingy is good. I just put it on the tip of my nose a lot, and just here where I know it's gonna shimmer a lot. It's mostly reflective on this side. Gonna go in with my lip therapy. This is the girly that she thinks she is. We have upgraded. That one that I was using, this came when I catch him. I had a friend say, one of my contacts was like, yeah, now you just ruined the feature, this Kim collab. I was like, hey, but so you guys know the truth, then lies. And my words of wisdom is, your trauma is not your trophy. Your trauma is not your trophy. Get help. Learn to deal with it. If you can't afford therapy, I suggest you Google kaur. I'll link her down below in this description. She's helped me a lot in my journey. My second word of wisdom doesn't really relate to my mental health illnesses, but rather on who you are. And always stay true to who you are, because when it's all said and done, you only have you. When you are going to poop at the toilet, it's just you. When poop hits, I wanna swear, but you know, when life hits the fan, you know, you only have yourself. You only have yourself. You are the only best person you can count on, and I feel like you owe it to yourself to deal with that trauma. Even if you know you have no idea how to even start, I suggest you go and do it. The worst thing that can happen is you don't get help and you stay in the same situation, which is highly unlikely. I hope there's this thing. It's either I'm using the wrong one, or yes, I'm using the wrong one. I don't see the difference, but this is the makeup look. This is the makeup look. Did it turn out better than the one from yesterday? No. Did I blend everything correctly? No. So we're gonna go in. I need to just. This is my foundation, by the way. The Essence Stay All Day 16 long lasting foundation, transfer and waterproof, and I believe that it's very much transfer and waterproof, and we need more makeup like that, you know. My last word of wisdom is, and when it's all said and done with everything I've said, subscribe to this channel because I need to get monetized. Makeup is expensive. But one thing I'd like to tell you, Angela, when you're watching this, is that your pain, your traumas, they are valid. How you see life is valid. Your feelings, all of those are valid. No matter who around you said, I'm telling you that is valid. I hear you, I see you, and you will come out of this way better and stronger. Look at where I am now. I thought I wouldn't get out of that situation. You know, primary was just for 7 years. Look at where I am now. I'm studying something I never thought I'd be able to ever study. I am applying makeup on acne prone skin when the whole world told me I was never beautiful enough. And with this makeup look, I still realize that I'm beautiful. Without this makeup look, I still realize I'm beautiful. And the fact that I'm able to pull this off tells me I'm so capable, and it doesn't end here. It's not just with my makeup or my academics. I'm way powerful. I'm a very powerful human being, and I'm going to conquer this world. I'm going to be successful, and if I can do it, you can do it. I love you, Angela. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you so much. If you don't get that tone, I love you, and I genuinely mean it. And say it back. I love you. Let's lock in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll begin tonight. With this look and with it all being said and done, I hope you enjoyed this video. I put my heart and my soul and my trauma and my makeup on this. I love you so, so much. It's Ari. Oh, say hi to you guys. Hi, bye.